ask why they bothered holding public hearings if so little importance was to be attached on them. A third board member requested that there be a vigorous discussion of the concerns made by the opponents of the proposal. The board member was thanked by the chair for his remark, and then the chair promptly made the motion to approve the application as submitted. The abbreviated deliberation process was necessitated by a board member who needed to leave to catch a plane. The vote was taken 6-5 in favor. I will share with you that even the photographer was shocked with the vote. In conclusion, I feel that there was a failed process on this day of the vote, and it's further exacerbated because the failure occurred during a time of unprecedented financial uncertainty in our community and throughout the Commonwealth. This process failed to recognize the financial implications for the Gloucester Public Schools District of granting the charter and the resulting dire impact for the majority of Gloucester's students. It failed to credit the very real, innovative, and gains that are already being taken in place in our schools. It failed to acknowledge the extent of the weaknesses in the charter application. It failed to listen or account for the recommendation of its own charter review board, who noted on a working document, "Do not recommend the Gloucester Community Arts Charter School." Most importantly, it failed to abide by established statutes and procedures set forth by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. I respectfully ask that you, the legislator, use your power to remedy this failure. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'd like to next recognize Phil Devlin.
Members of the committee, thank you. Welcome to Gloucester. Representative Ferrante, Senator Tarr. I am not here today to critique this process in any way at all. I'm only here to share some information about the process. The committee or the group for the charter school has asked me to review the signatures as an elected official. I know many people have questioned those signatures, and which I obliged, and I will pass that on to you. Again, my name is Phil Devlin, Ward 5 City Council. The signatures were a total of 458. 456 of those signatures were Gloucester residents. 164 of those signatures had at least one child in the Gloucester public school systems. 16 of those signatures had at least 2 or more children in the Gloucester school public system. There were 2 signatures that were not from Gloucester. One was from Rockport and one was from Manchester. There are many questions surrounding this charter school, and I do agree with Representative Ferrante and Senator Tarr. I think this process is necessary. We need to get the questions answered. And I also agree with Senator Tarr that this charter school will never move forward if we keep lingering on with all these questions and clear flaws that happen in this process. So I did, again, review these signatures, and I hope that you can trust my accuracy in counting these, and they do exist. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'd like to recognize Jane Cunningham.
Hi. First, I'd like to thank everyone who is here today. I really appreciate your time. My name is Jane Cunningham. I have 2 children who attend West Parish Elementary School and 1 child who will start kindergarten in 2 years. I've been a resident of Gloucester for 11 years. I greatly appreciate your taking the time to meet with us today. Public hearings are important to a community in that taxpayers are given the opportunity to highlight support for or express concern about a particular issue. People attend and speak at public hearings with the expectation that their collective voices will be heard. Thank you for recognizing the importance of a public hearing to our community and for not only listening but also for seeking remedy to specific problems that are raised today. I would like to address the process by which the Gloucester Community Arts Charter was granted. The Board of Elementary and Secondary Education has clearly established 12 criteria for assessment and approval of charter applications. You've already heard criterion C. Reads as follows: to assure that the charter school will meet its enrollment projections through demonstration of need and support for the proposed charter school in the communities from which students would likely to enroll. Having attended in its entirety the 3.5-hour public hearing that took place on December 11th, at which a voting Board of Education member was not present, and having personally received mass confirmation that letters opposing the GCA charter school proposal had been sent, I can confidently say that the applicants have not sufficiently demonstrated need and demand for this school. Furthermore, Commissioner Mitchell-Chester failed to investigate the applicants' claim that they had widespread support. Please take a close look at the facts on record as recorded by the charter school office in the document that they created for the 2008-2009 application cycle. It's right here. The charter office issued the following recommendation for each of the charter schools that were asked to submit final applications, including the Gloucester Community Arts Charter School. CSO recommendation, do not recommend, right here. I'm not going to rehash the facts because you've already heard them. I've listed them in my testimony here about the people who spoke at the hearing, the people who wrote letters, and the petition. I do want to say one thing about the petition. The applicant submitted only one page of a petition, problematic in that not enough information was given to people signing so that they could make an informed decision. And I've listed that page in the documents that I will submit so you can see what the petition looked like. The fact that only 48 people are on record showing support for the school should have been a red flag for the commissioner and proof that he needed to further investigate this application. He further investigated by asking the director of charter schools, after he recommended to grant the Gloucester applicants a charter, do we have verification that 400 parents signed as supportive of and interested in enrolling their children in the Gloucester charter? He further investigated by stating that the board members who voted 6-5 on 224 approved this charter. How are we as citizens of Gloucester to embrace a school that came to us by way of such a tainted process? How is it good for a community to have their collective voices squelched in the name of the Commissioner's desire to approve at least one charter? I implore you to further investigate the multitude of ways in which the GCA charter application process has not served the people of Gloucester, ensuring that we, citizens of the Commonwealth, can place faith in our institutions and the people we have chosen to lead us.
Thank you very much. If you could leave it right over on the table, that would be terrific. Thank you very much. I'd next like to recognize Michelle Blazowicz.
Good afternoon, or good evening. My name is Michelle Blazowicz. I am a resident of Gloucester. I am also a parent of 2 children. I am also a Waldorf educator. Waldorf education is a system, for those who do not know, that fully integrates art into every aspect of teaching all academics. I have had my children in both private Waldorf schools and charter Waldorf schools. I have recently moved here and put my children in the Gloucester Public Schools. I can say to you that I stand fully behind the Gloucester Charter Arts Community School, and I was one of the people who sat very quietly at the meetings. I spoke when necessary. I sent my letters, and I was one of the people who went out and spoke to people and got names on the petition. So for all of you who are questioning the validity of supporters in the community, I would say to you, there are. There are many people who have lived here for many years, who have family, who work in the schools, people who have a vested interest in the schools being financially viable, who are afraid to stand and speak. I am not afraid to stand and speak. I spoke at great length with the people who signed the petition. There were about 75 people that I spoke to that signed the petition. There were many of those who had children who were school age. There were also others who did not have children within the schools, who choiced out to other communities. There were others who were homeschooling their children because they felt that a more artistic approach would better benefit their child. I am not here to say anything negative about the Gloucester Public Schools. I am here only to say that there are those who do support options in education, because not every child can meet the standards and thrive in a system that is only one way. There are different